WVOX 1460 on your AM dial or worldwide at WVOX.com. We're here every second and fourth Monday of the month. And in studio with me today is Catherine White, Executive Director for the Chamber of Commerce here in New Rochelle. And our guest today is Robert from PMI Property Management right here in Westchester. So Robert, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. Thank you, Matt and Catherine. Thank you for having me.
All right, so my first question for you is, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into property management and how you founded your company.
Sure, Matt. So PMI Hudson Property Management is a boutique company servicing the Westchester County area. We manage properties from Yonkers all the way up to Peekskill. We also go into the northern Bronx area. How I started in property management, I've been managing a small portfolio of family properties. It's been about 5 to 10 years, while at the same time holding a full-time corporate job. A few years ago, I decided to take a buyout from corporate America. In that role, I was a project manager working within the IT space. With that background, it was a good segue to getting into property management full time. I enjoy real estate. I enjoy all the facets of real estate. So that's what brought me into the PMI family.
All right, great. Now, tell me about the size of your business, how many partners you have, and how many residential properties you currently manage, and what tools can prospective people who want to get involved with PMI have.
Sure, Matt. So, like I mentioned, we are a small boutique company. I'm part of a franchise that manages over 18,000 doors from coast to coast, from California to Maine down to Florida, and over 42,000 HOA properties. Each office is independently owned. I was awarded the Westchester County area. And what sets us apart from other property management companies is our state-of-the-art marketing and state-of-the-art accounting systems on the back end.
All right. Now, tell me about timely rent collection and what kind of service is that, and what's covered by the management.
Sure. Timely rent collection. An online portal for the tenant and the landlord. Tenants can go right onto our website, PMIHudson.com, and pay their rent. We strongly urge for tenants to pay their monthly rent online. You know, some of them may want to pay by cash, and we have formed a relationship with third parties, businesses such as Walgreens, Walmart, and CVS. Where someone that can only pay by cash, either they don't have access to a computer, they don't have the means to be paying online, they can go into these establishments, they can pay their rent, and then the cashier or whoever they're paying their rent at these establishments will give them a vendor PIN ID where they can go and pay their rent online.
All right, yeah, that's I'm sure that gets used a lot, because cash is sort of a challenging thing to keep track of, especially when you're talking about a lot of property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It kind of minimize, you're right, the transaction, cash going back and forth.
Absolutely. So I noticed on your website you have a little guide for self-managing your rental property, and you have a lot of different sections on there, such as cost of hiring a management company, tenant screening, advice about writing leases, and what to do in terms of late rent. Can you start by telling us a little bit about the cost of hiring a management company? You had said that you have pricing on your website, right, and that you're very transparent, and most property management companies don't offer that.
Right. So what we're seeing out there in the industry, Matt, a lot of companies don't put their pricing online. We like to be transparent as much as possible, and that's kind of what we that's our motto at PMI. And a lot of times, what we're also encountering is a lot of landlords, they think they can manage their own properties, which they probably can. There's nothing saying that they can't. They want to save the cost. And a lot of them, what they do, either they download your generic leases off the net, off the internet. But what they're missing is a lot of these leases, what we have to offer. We have a lot of additions to the lease to cover the landlord, to protect the landlord, such as we have a good pet screening policy that we include in our leases, and also the early termination policy within our leases.
Okay.
And again, a lot of landlords manage their own property, to self-manage, but we find those investors who are trying to build their portfolio, they feel that the cost that we are charging are kind of nominal. As they build their portfolio, they don't have time. They don't have time to handle all the calls that come from the vendors, rent collection, market their properties.
Right.
But we offer a whole gamut. We offer everything from soup to nuts.
All right. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a one size fits all for every landlord for every property, but you guys help them through that process and getting the appropriate pricing.
Absolutely. So our pricing starts. We have two tiers of pricing. We have your regular flat fee, and then we have your premium package.
Okay.
With the premium package, we will provide landscape supervision, snow removal supervision. We'll pay your utilities, taxes, your mortgage. So it's more in depth. We also have quite a few guarantees with the upper tier policy, which is what we brand ourselves with.
So can you tell me a little bit about tenant screening? I know that can be challenging for a lot of owners, landlords of apartments or condos, and how you walk them through that, because that can be very hard for a landlord trying to do little background checks on every person they're allowing into their building, and they may not necessarily like the type of people that they're letting in, and they may not fit right in their building. So how do you guide them through that?
So we have an online application. Tenants go up to our portal. They can fill out an application. Again, in the state of New York, it's a flat fee of $20 for a tenant to fill out an application.
Okay.
They fill out the application, and what we require from a tenant, we require W-2s, previous year's income taxes, landlord references. We do a criminal check, background check, credit check, and we know that not everyone has a top tier credit score, and so we take it on a case by case basis. Even though up on our portal we tell people you need to have a 650 minimum credit score, we have to take it case by case, because you may have a great income and you may be a recent college graduate trying to build up the credit history. So of course you're not going to have the credit score that it's not going to be up there in the 650 to 700 range.
Right. Okay, and then you were talking a little bit before about writing leases and how it's not recommended that they can just go on Google and say how to write a lease, because that may not be what's right for that particular landlord or company.
Yeah, landlords now have to protect themselves. Getting your generic lease offline is good, but again, those leases don't have the early termination clause. They don't have policies regarding pet screening. Those are just two of the things that we include in our leases.
Okay. Now, I was looking on your website, and you have a lot of different guarantees: 21-day guarantee, eviction on time rent, pet guarantee, happiness leasing, and results.
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Sure, we can start with the first one. I think you mentioned the 21-day guarantee.
Yes.
So when we sign up with a landlord, we're going to market your property, we're going to get you a tenant, and if from the time you sign the contract, if your property is not leased within 21 days, you do not pay the first month management fee.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right. And then I know there's a lot of them, but I'm curious about the pet guarantee.
The pet guarantee, we guarantee to cover any damages that the tenant's pet may cause within the property.
Okay. Yeah, I always, when I hear that certain buildings don't allow pets, I'm like, oh, why is that?
No, nowadays we're finding people love their pets.
Yeah.
Whether it's your dog, your cat, your rabbit, they love the pets. They'll pay a little bit more on rent. They'll
Right, I'm sure.
pay a pet deposit if the landlord requires it, but
yeah,
they want to keep their pets. They want to keep their pets with them, and that's an attractive part when you market a piece of property of allowing pets.
Well, yeah, it is understandable if they charge a little bit more because you never know if the pet does damage to the space.
Right.
You know, but
I think, Matt, one thing I also want to highlight on those guarantees is the eviction guarantee. So when we tell landlords, we're so confident on vetting process of the tenant that if we place a tenant onto your property and we have to evict them, we'll carry the cost of evicting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice because I'm sure most people don't want to be bothered with.
Oh yeah, they're
trying to,
especially in the state of New York where it can get pretty hairy to try to evict a tenant.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about your results guarantee.
Results. If the prospective landlord is not happy with the services that we provided, we don't lock him into a 12-month contract.
Okay.
After 30 days notice, they can move on and pick another property management company.
Oh, great.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now, you were telling me before we came on about the software that's by Build'em and about the survey that they conduct and, you know, how do you use their survey and software?
That survey, which we're just trying to gauge what other property management companies, what are the pluses, what are the minuses, what are the tenants, landlords, how they're filling out the survey, and how satisfied they are. What are some of the things they're looking for in a property management company? Okay,
all right. Now, what advice do you have for rental owners? What advice do rental owners have for property managers? I see that's one of the things on this survey. Lots of different answers, such as please be open and honest with your communications, be a quick communicator, be thorough, make my property inviting to good tenants, show them in dollars how a property manager will save me money over doing it myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we kind of hang our hat on.
Yeah.
Again, transparency. Landlords, investors, they want to know that when they call, you're going to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that they're harping on. That's one of the pain points.
Yeah. Now tell me about the 5 services that owners want property managers to offer. On that survey, I see there's rent and fee collection, there's maintenance and repairs.
Yes. So rent collection, again, having an online portal makes it easy for the tenant.
Absolutely.
Also have the online portal for the landlord where they can see where their financials are at any point in time. Mm-hmm. Maintenance repair, we have an extensive relationship with the vendors in Westchester County. We make sure they're licensed and insured. Mm-hmm. And we also have 24/7 access for the tenant to submit any maintenance requests or work orders they may have.
Okay, so if a pipe bursts in the middle of the night, they can go on there and report that.
Yeah, and if it's obviously it's an emergency phone call, they're going to speak to someone.
Yeah.
They're going to speak to someone, and that person is going to gather more information. And then if it's something that's really critical, they're going to dispatch someone out right away.
All right.
If it's something that could wait till the next morning, they'll wait till the following morning.
Okay. All right, great. This was good. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more, including some chamber announcements. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Right. Thank you, Matt and Catherine, for having me.
Okay. Yeah, so when we come back, we're off the air now.
Is there a pause on here?
What was that?
Is there a pause on here?
Do you finish?
No, I'm okay.
No, you have to. She always starts another video.